Hi quilting and sewing friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber, and today we're talking about the Clover heart-shaped yo-yo maker. That's right, we have heart-shaped yo-yos that we can make with this yo-yo maker, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to do that. You ready? Let's get started. This heart yo-yo maker makes really fun heart-shaped yo-yos, and these can be used as embellishments on different bags and purses. They can just be used as like decorations. You could use them and stitch them along the border of a quilt. There's all kinds of ways that you can use these yo-yos once you've made them, but the first step is to make your heart-shaped yo-yos. So what you need is your heart-shaped yo-yo maker. You're going to need fabric bigger than the yo-yo maker. You'll need some thread, a thimble is optional, scissors, and a needle, which I put in a pincushion because otherwise I would totally lose it. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pop out your yo-yo maker, and it's two parts. There's a top and a bottom. And if you've used the Kansashi flower makers, this looks really similar and the concept is a lot the same. So I'm just going to put my piece of fabric inside here, and I'm going to press it in place. And I don't know if you heard that click, but I heard the click. I don't want to stretch it, but I have a little bubble here, so I just want to make sure that I don't have a bubble of fabric here on the back, that it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut right along the edge. I'm not touching the lipped edge, but I'm pretty close. And this doesn't have to be perfect. This will get hidden away. I have all that cut. Now right here at like the little bow of my heart, there's a little spot and I'm clipping in right there. So that's going to allow this to tuck in. Now all these instructions, by the way, are in the instructions for the heart yo-yo maker. So you can follow along with the instructions, and it has some ideas for projects as well. And it is really simple. We're going to go ahead and make one. So you're going to grab some thread and thread a needle. And here's where I vary from the instructions a little bit. I'm using a double length of thread because it's going to be a little bit stronger for pulling, and I don't have to worry about snapping my thread. I'm also not going to put a knot at the end. So you can see where to start by looking at the back. There are all these loops along the back, and the very bottom loop I want to start here. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to wrap this seam allowance to the back, and going through 2 layers of fabric, I'm going to go to the back. I'm going to leave myself a tail of thread since I didn't have a knot, and then still with my fingers holding the seam allowance in place, I'm going to come back. Still continuing to go through 2 layers. I'm going to stitch up and down. The thing you want to remember when stitching is that when you're going along this back, you want to make sure that your stitch is getting tucked along one of these cut lines. If you don't do that when it's time to release, you won't be able to remove it from the plastic shape because you'll have stitched it to the shape. So by each time going through from front to back, always through 2 layers, and then following along one of those cut lines, come back through 2 layers, you'll make sure to be able to release it. So we're just going to continue in this way all the way around. And if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal because we didn't put a knot at the end. You can really just pull this thread out and then start over. When we get to this point, so we started here at the bottom, we've gone all the way around one side. We're going to tuck down here and then come across. And here we're only going through 1 layer of fabric, and that's totally fine. And then up here again, we'll be going through 2 layers of fabric as we catch that seam allowance. Okay, we've made it all the way around, and then we're going to make one more stitch, which is repeating the first stitch. So this first stitch and this last stitch are going to be basically right on top of each other, but you don't want to go through the same holes because you don't want to pierce your thread. So they're going to be 2 stitches that are right next to each other, making sure that you don't go through and poke the previous thread with your needle. So now we have gone all the way around, and we're going to just push up, and we can push up through this hole in the back and carefully remove our stitched fabric from the template. And now I have 2 sets of threads, one that has the needle on it and one that doesn't. If you're nervous about this needle, you can just go ahead and cut it off. And now we're going to carefully, with both these threads, just pull to start ruffling it up. And you can push everything in towards the back of the fabric, so the outside of the fabric is all showing, and it's going to look like a little bit of a mess right now, but we're going to have a little faith that once we are done, it will all look right. And that's looking pretty good. Look at that, just like that, a little bit of pushing, and it already looks really good. So now I want to make this nice and tight. I'm going to grab my threads, and I have 4 of them. So just want to make sure that I have my beginning piece and my end piece. There we go. And I'm going to tie a single knot, and with my second one, I'm going to go through my loop once and through my loop twice just to give it a little extra security, and tie a nice tight knot. Now these threads can get tucked in. I'm going to trim them short but not too short so it's easy enough to tuck them in. You can use some kind of stylus. I'm going to go ahead and grab my purple thing, and I can just use that to tuck those threads inside, and once they're in, they're long enough that they won't poke back out that easily on their own. There we go. And I can adjust the shape a little bit as needed, but I have this really cute little heart. And I can put it with other hearts that I've made. And it's that simple to use this heart yo-yo maker to make your hearts. Wasn't that easy? Making heart-shaped yo-yos is so fun and so simple. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Remember that the comment section is for you, and if you have any questions or comments, I'll be looking for those so I can get you some answers. If you enjoyed this video, I do hope that you'll also share it with friends using that share button, and subscribe to this channel. Also, as always, I have links to the products used in the description box. Go ahead and click those links in the description box, and I get a little bit of affiliate revenue when you click those links. Thanks so much for watching, my friends, and I'll see you right here real soon.